morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Breath for this Sunday, March 22nd, 2015. We've got some really cool news today as sitting on our table right now. Yeah, you can show it. We got to see these in! It's super exciting. They look really cool. You may not be able to tell from here, but...
We'll do a close-up.
Yeah,
right?
we'll do a close-up, yeah.
Many thanks. This is like a massive collaboration here. It was Michelle Pennington. She goes by Lulu Grace for her photography. Took this photo, and then my mother, Jill Gollinger, fantastic artist, painted it, and then Pat Collins, our graphic designer, put it all together to make this. So
it's very cool. It looks very stunning to me. Like, I really like it.
It's very colorful, which is different for us. So.
Very different. We've made the leap to color.
Yep.
We're really excited about that. So we'll have them around at shows and stuff.
And we're not putting a price on it,
Yep.
so you pay what you want. And that's how we have it set up online, too. So if you think it's worth nothing, then okay. That's fine. But if you do think it's worth something, then, put in a couple $100. That's fine.
Yeah. We won't mind. And also, we wanted to give a big thanks to many of our friends and Facebook fans who have been spreading the word. We kind of put a little call to action on our Facebook page and on our personal pages as well, and people have really come through with that. So.
Yeah, we really appreciate everyone because our Facebook likes were looking a little bit pathetic there. So when we're trying to, we're making a big push to get them up because we're getting this really big summer tour together. We have an April tour coming up, so we'll be coming through to San Diego, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Scottsdale, possibly
Fe.
Cave Creek, and Santa Fe in April. And then, but starting in July, we're going to be going on a 2-month tour, 2+ month tour. We're going to go all the way up the coast, and then we're going to head back to our friends in Nashville.
Yay!
But we need sponsorship for that, for this tour. We're going to be putting together some pledge music stuff so you guys can help us pay for our gas. And then we're also, so I'm thinking, we're like, we got to get our Facebook likes up because we're looking for the sponsorship. And, I feel like our fan base is bigger than that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Facebook changed their freaking algorithm. We can't get likes as easily now.
Yeah, unless you decide to pay for a Facebook ad.
Yeah, which we did. We paid like $10 and we got 7 likes. And then we're like, screw this, and we just sent out messages instead, and then all of a sudden we had like 100 new likes. We're like, oh.
Yeah, I think, we're still working on that angle of it, the advertising and stuff. But yeah, it was at the time, it was very funny to see that. Because we did both at the same time, and I was remarking, wow, this is really working because we have like 30 new likes in a day. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking, but Ashley was convinced it was just because, she sent it to her 2,500 Facebook friends. And that's pretty much what it was. Like, it's just a percentage
you can pull up the ad and we're like, 7. So anyway, thank you guys.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think, Kai did it, and David and
friend Catherine shared the page. My mom shared the page, and
Anne, Fiona. Yeah. Anyway, you guys know who you are. I wish I made a list to thank you all, but thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
A lot. And if you did that, don't forget to email us because we'll send you some free live tracks as a thank you.
Yeah.
withawordmusic@gmail.com. It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but the main topic today. We wanted to talk a little bit about what happens behind the scenes, which we've talked about it before, but never really in detail.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. This is a working business,
Unless you are a musician who's trying to hit the scale that we are, trying to be on the road, trying to be in as many places as possible, you have to approach it as a full-scale, full-time business in order to make it work with any kind of success. So,
which is absolutely amazing how fast the time goes. I mean, I quit my job like a couple weeks ago because I was having some health stuff. And that's kind of when Ed and I regrouped and decided that we wanted to try and be on tour full time instead of, working these supplemental jobs, just try and make Witherword our only job.
Yeah.
You've probably seen some interesting Facebook quotes recently about things like that, just because we're regrouping it again. And so it's funny because I said, okay, I'm just going to stay not working and I'm going to book this tour. And I think we have 10 shows in 2 weeks already, and for the April tour. But it was a full, I would wake up in the morning, and for the last 2 weeks that I've been unemployed, and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm just constantly calls and emails, and it's nonstop. It's absolutely crazy how fast the time goes, and you're like, what just happened to this day?
Lots of spreadsheets, lots of notepad notes everywhere. Everywhere. I'm tired of seeing that realtor's face on the counter when he's everywhere.
We got a free notepad from a realtor around here. That's what I've been using for. Or I'll switch it up, Ed.
That's fine.
I didn't know that was bothering you.
No, it's fine. It's just,
I've got other notepads.
I know who to call when I want to buy a house now, so. So it's a full-time thing, and honestly, like my part in that is not as time intensive for sure. I mean, it's most of it is maintaining kind of the back end, like. And for me, it's a lot of research now. Like, I'm trying to research, okay, how are we going to make more money, more revenue streams? Things like researching song placement, researching other websites, redesigning our own website. Like, that's what I'm working on right now, is ways to redesign our website, to drive more traffic there, to make it better when you get there, and it's pretty good right now. We've had this design for a while, and I think it's worked really well, but there are things I want to do with it, and I want to do more social stuff, and a lot of that, there are a lot of time saving things we can do for social networking and stuff, but it's still, there's chunks out of your day you have to dedicate solely for that.
I think it takes me approximately 10 to 15 minutes to make one post on.
Yeah, across everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And mainly it's because, we could use something, because I know somebody out there is going to say, why don't you use Hootsuite? Like, we can do that for sure. But if we want to increase any kind of visibility on Facebook, it's very difficult.
It decreases your visibility.
The other ones don't really matter. Yeah, like the other ones don't really matter as much, but still, like it's that. So that's something we have to kind of work around,
Yeah.
So.
And then also, it takes a while to edit the photo, and then
there's a lot of Photoshop work that I do, and of course we farm some of that out to Pat as well, Photoshop and Illustrator stuff, but there's still a lot of Photoshop stuff. If I have to put up something or build a new profile somewhere, then there's a lot of other extra stuff you have to do in order to get that set up, So it's working full time and trying to find ways to cut down that time to fill it with other stuff you need to do.
And then you're like, oh, I didn't do half the things I said I was going to do. And right now, I mean, now that the April tour is pretty much sewn up, there's a May weekend that I'm working on. I've already got I didn't tell you.
Oh, good.
We're booked in Omaha in May.
No, I saw that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. So you're talking about Omaha. Like the Kansas City.
Yeah, so we're going to Kansas City and Omaha for a weekend. Well, we're still working on Kansas City. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. But and then we're also working on possibly Maine in June. which is going to be a trek, but it's something that's in the works. If that doesn't happen, we'll probably head back to California. And then starting in July, we'll be gone on this summer tour, like I said, and this is a really big deal. I mean, there is going to be a lot that has to go into this because we don't have a touring vehicle, so we have to come up with that. We have to come up with gas money. We have to come up with lodging because we're not always going to be able to crash everywhere.
Right.
And we have to come up with, food and other travel expenses. So we're guesstimating, this tour is going to cost us about $6,000 and we don't know what we're going to make yet. So we are, and that's not, sorry, probably $6,000 on top of what we're making. That's what we're guesstimating. So we're trying to find sponsors for it. So I'm putting together a proposal with a spreadsheet to try and contact hotels, a hotel chain, to see if they want to sponsor us and put us up, and we'll do, our Morning Breast series in their hotel every day and broadcast and tweet it and Facebook and tag and etc. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to, put together a pledge music to try and get gas money. And then we're going to try and get some other sponsors too, like possibly we get like Jersey Mike's or the Gap or just some kind of company to actually sponsor us with money, and then we come in and do a live show in their space in each city that we're on tour. So this is our idea. So this is a really big undertaking.
Yeah.
And we barely scratched the surface. So we're going to be quite busy.
Yeah. It's not impossible, it's just, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time. So that's, these are a lot of the things that, if you have musician friends, these are a lot of the things that we all have to do and we all work on in order to try and get anywhere. If we don't have, if we don't have the benefit of, another revenue stream or something like that, we have to really be creative when it comes to these sort of things where we need a lot of expenses for. So, where we need a lot of money for expenses. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff does take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So, if we're able to just focus on that, it makes it a lot easier and a lot more likely that we're going to be able to get anywhere.
Because we're able to put 100% in right now.
Yeah, which makes a big difference.
So if you guys have any suggestions for us, what we need is we need to contact, pretty much the corporate offices of these places that I mentioned. If you know anybody, please let us know. Yeah. We'd love to call them. But otherwise, I'm just going to be calling up the Gap every day.
Yeah, why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
So, it's very exciting. And, it's a very large undertaking trying to be, full-time musicians that we do want to get out and play, and that's the main thing. And so we're trying to really make that happen and focus on that. And that's pretty much all that's all we really want to do. So we have to put the time and effort into it at this point.
Well, and it's about time, I feel like we put in, plenty of dues here that I think it's time that we haven't really been able to give 100% to Wither Word because we both had to have other jobs while we're doing it, or we were moving across the country while we were doing it, or or we had other projects that we were doing so we're like, okay, let's just focus on Wither Word and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And if and I think it's gonna work.
Yep, me too.
What do you think?
I hope you think so too.
But there's all kinds of other stuff that we could talk about, the behind the scenes. Ed was working on, he mentioned licensing, getting our songs in movies and TV, and this is, something that I didn't even think about. He's been in his room for the last 2 days coming up with mixes of all of our songs without the vocals, so we can try and get them placed into movies.
Stuff like that. Just any little thing we can think of. And I'm still researching a lot of stuff. So, that's a lot of it. It's a lot of time goes into research. So, thankfully, a lot of folks out there are pretty forthcoming and they have a lot of good advice. So that's been really helpful, So.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we don't really go about this blindly. That's it seems, it's kind of been an interesting topic of conversation around my friends and loved ones, so that's why we wanted to do this today, to let you know how hard we work. And we don't just go out there and play shows. We've got spreadsheets and data and research and budgeting, and it's crazy how much is involved. And
that's what it takes.
It is. And we're starting to scratch the surface. It's kind of exciting. We moved out here to build a little fan base in the West Coast, and we're slowly seeing that kind of come to fruition. So we're scratching the surface on it anyway, and we're excited about that.
Very excited. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So what's the song today?
So, as you know, this month we are doing songs by friends of ours. So last week we did a Nicole Boggs song that was also written with Connor Rand and Kellyanne Hochter.
Yep.
This week we're doing a song by my dear goddess friend Meredith Blis.
Yeah.
This is both Ed's and my favorite songwriter. She's quite the songwriter. Mm-hmm. And
we've both co-written with her, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we've both written really good songs with her.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's my favorite. I heard her play this once at a writer's night, and it was like, what was that song? I loved it.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
She hadn't played it in a while.
No.
And then she just bust out with it. We're like, whoa. Okay.
Really cool tune about love and life, and just kind of, it's kind of got a darker, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a darker song, but it's about being positive. It's like if you don't, put love first and don't, if you don't see the love and the light in the world, then everything's going to go to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say, that sounds accurate. That's what
really interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. It is a bit of a departure, I would say, from some of her other stuff, But yeah, it quickly grew on me, quickly grew on Ash too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, without further ado, Fade to Dust
by Meredith Blis.
All right, cool. Let me go grab the other battery. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Betty Page was all the rage, 1945. Sweet and sassy innocence made all the boys alive. A pin-up girl on a tilt-a-whirl, pictures for the world to see. You can pin her up and tie her down, joke's on you, she's free. The prince said to the showgirl, let's make love, something's gotta give. Tell me, dear, all about Eve and why these gentlemen prefer blondes. There's duality in sexuality. Some like it too hot for reality. This monkey business don't bother to knock. A 7-year itch from Niagara to the bus stop. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Me, you. Southern steel magnolia, put her in your palm. Feel the flowery strength within, like an atomic bomb. A butterfly just gonna fly away. Remember everything you wanted to say. She's as good as gold, you're as good as it gets. So much we haven't figured out yet. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Tell me why it's the 21st century. You wanna tell me what I should believe. You wanna tell me bombs, you wanna tell me guns, but neither weapon is protecting our sons. I say beauty and I say grace. I want clean air and equality of race. Tell me who's the terrorist and what for? We're killing God's children in the name of war. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. It's all about love and it's not about greed. We're the only weapons of mass destruction. It's all about love and it's not about hate. A little about sex cause it's how we relate. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Too much fear, not enough love. Eventually we're gonna fade to dust. Me. We're the only mass destructive weapons that I see. Sorry, Meredith. So many lyrics.
That's a lot of words. I don't feel so bad for singing Hook by myself.
Whew. It's intense.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more. And very special thanks again to our patrons to help us put this together.
If you're watching on YouTube, please become a patron. It's only $1 per video, and it really helps us out.
Yep.
And we're starting to get into that phase where we're not so afraid to ask for help. So hopefully you guys can jump on board. And if not, we're just happy that you're listening either way. So we thank you.
Absolutely. So until next time.
After
These messages.
We'll
be right back.
Didn't work as well as I wanted it to.
You're gonna make it after all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is Morning Breath for Sunday, March, would it be 22nd? Or the 21st? Let me start. God damn it.
Blooper reel. 22nd.
Should have just trusted myself the first time.
That's because I second guessed you.
You always second guess me on the days.
Because I never know what fucking day it is.